This video because I believe there's a lot of confusion out there as to what abortion is and isn't. I believe that the confusion is being created by an agenda. There's so much misinformation about what abortion is and isn't, and I do believe it's purposeful. Most of it is by the media and their agenda, along with the left side of politics that is for abortion. And I believe it's confused even a lot of Republicans because the language has been skewed, and I think some medical terminology needs to be changed because I think it's being used for the purpose to confuse people for this agenda. So I want to start out with like the basics. Miscarriage, the medical terminology for a miscarriage. Now, a miscarriage is when a baby dies in the womb naturally. Something goes wrong either in the baby or in the mother, and the baby just doesn't survive. So the mother carries that baby, and that happens naturally. But the problem is the medical term for it is spontaneous abortion. And I think that's the terminology that is so confusing to people. And I think the agenda likes to keep that terminology because it keeps people confused. They purposely love to confuse people. If you haven't noticed that within the last several years, it's time to open your eyes and your ears. A spontaneous abortion is the medical terminology for miscarriage. That needs to change. A miscarriage is of no fault of anybody. It's not purposeful. The baby passes away on their own, and sometimes the mother needs to have the baby removed, but the baby is already deceased. And sometimes they will need a D&C where they go in and they scrape out the uterus. Now, there are D&C abortions that are elective. Abortion where you go in and an elective abortion is all about intent. When you go to an abortion doctor, the intent is to go in and kill the baby first before they come out of the womb. That isn't natural, that is selective and elective. Now, sometimes they use a D&C, which is where these people are trying to bring in the confusion, because there are abortions. This is the kind of abortion I had, where they go in, they scrape, and they vacuum, they suck out the dismembered baby. That's where they're trying to confuse people about these abortion bans. They're saying that women that have had miscarriages and women with ectopic pregnancies will not be able to get medical care if there are abortion bans. That is a lie. That is a lie from the pit of hell. That is where this agenda comes from that tries to create this confusion. It comes from the pit of hell. A woman who needs a D&C from a miscarriage will go into an operating room and have a D&C in an appropriate setting. That is not the same as an abortion. An abortion is an alive fetus or embryo where they go into a clinic, the baby is alive, and the baby is purposefully unalived and then is removed. That is not the same as a miscarriage. Women who have miscarriages and ectopic pregnancies are not affected by abortion bans. Just because they call a miscarriage a spontaneous abortion, this is not an abortion. This is why I believe that these medical terminology, it needs to change, because it's only being misused to help confuse the masses. An ectopic pregnancy is not treated with an abortion. This agenda keeps telling people that women that have ectopic pregnancies will be at a danger for dying because they won't be able to receive medical care if abortions are banned. Abortions are not used as a procedure for an ectopic pregnancy. Ectopic pregnancy is when the embryo stays within the tube and the baby starts growing there. That baby will die. The mother could die if it continues to grow in the tube. As of now, there's no way to transfer a baby out of the tube and implant them in the uterus. So that baby needs to be removed because the tube will stretch and it will burst and it will cause the mother to internally bleed. There's nothing you can do about ectopic pregnancy but have it removed. That is not an abortion procedure. It is they usually use a laparoscopy to go in through the abdomen. It has to be done in an operating room. This is not done in an abortion clinic. I don't know how many women have had abortions, but there's no way what I would allow myself to be in one of those rooms to have that kind of intensive and intricate surgery done on me. But they have to do laparoscopy, and they have to go in with a guided camera, and they either remove the whole tube, which means the woman loses her whole fallopian tube, or they, depending on where it is or how big it is, they can just cut the tube, remove that implanted baby, and then the mother can heal on her own. They can stitch it up, hopefully save the fallopian tube. That is nothing that can be done in an abortion clinic. So ectopic pregnancies are also off the table for abortion care because it is not the same procedure. If they take the tube out, it's a salpingectomy. But that none of those procedures can be done in an abortion clinic. And doing an abortion on a woman with a tubal pregnancy, ectopic pregnancy, would likely lead to her to be more injured and risk the bursting of the tubes and internal bleeding, because an abortion only takes the fetus out of the uterus. There's no way to get it out of the tubes. Simple anatomy lesson, looking at pictures online of how the female anatomy is, would show you abortions do nothing for ectopic pregnancy. So there's the two basic facts. Miscarriages and ectopic pregnancy do not use abortion care. They do not use abortion clinics. Just because you go into an abortion clinic and find out that the heart's not beating and they decide to do the dilation and the vacuuming out the fetus, does not make that baby aborted. That baby is already deceased. So don't let them confuse you with their language. They purposely like to confuse. That's what the agenda depends on, is people having cognitive dissonance because they use confusing language and they have lied so much to push their agendas no matter what it is. So abortion bans will not hurt women who are having miscarriage nor ectopic pregnancy. Those are not related. Now, the saying that women will die if they have a pregnancy that is threatening their life if they don't have abortion. Later term abortions do happen. Don't let them lie to you and tell them that they don't. Just go online and search for a late term abortion clinic and act like you're a patient, and you'll find that they do happen. And the reasons, medical reasons, also include mental health. So they do happen for mental health reasons. Somebody changes their mind. These babies are viable babies. They could come out and they could live. Now, what they're doing with late-term abortions is they're trying to convince people that they don't happen, number one. And number two is that they're necessary, and they're not. It's never necessary to kill a baby before they come out of the womb. See, this is what abortion is. Abortion is all about intent. The intention of an abortion is to unalive this baby before they leave the womb. That's all abortion is killing of an innocent baby before they come out of the womb. There's no reason that it's medically necessary to take the life of a baby for the health of a woman. It is actually less damaging to the body, less risk to a woman's body to have her be put into labor, even knowing the baby will not live once outside the womb, but to have her put into labor and to birth the baby is a lot less risky than a late-term abortion. Why? Because a late-term abortion is multiple days. It is an event that takes multiple days because the baby has to be, and the baby is sizable, so there's different ways that the babies have to be, their lives have to be taken before this woman can give birth. This is where a lot of women will have damage to their uterus and never be able to have another baby because of the instruments used. There are some very, very disgusting techniques that are still used, and they lie that they're not used, to take the baby's life. And there's just no reason. There's never a reason. And they have you thinking that this is compassionate and that women will die if their babies aren't killed before they come out of the womb. And the fact of the matter is that women can have less risk giving birth to the baby and holding that baby until the baby dies than a multiple day procedure that has tools and all kinds of instruments being inserted into their uterus when they can just birth the baby or even have a C-section if they need to. Because abortion clinics are nasty places. Dirty, nasty places. And not in a very surgically sterile place. For the health of the baby, there's no reason the baby needs to be unalived before they come out. Now, I think the thing that people don't want to talk about is the harvesting of organs, and this is happening with late-term abortions. Now, I want you to think to when you see like videos of people and children especially, you see these videos of them being kept alive on machines so they can donate their organs. That tells you right there, a person has to be alive before their organs are taken. Okay, they are greatly sedated, they don't feel the pain, but they have to be kept alive for their organs to be usable. They're taking organs from late-term babies, but they're not using any kind of pain meds, sedation, nothing on that baby. This is brutal, it's sadistic, and it is evil. These babies are being sliced and opened and dismembered for organs while they are alive, and they can feel the pain. Do you understand this? There's nothing different than harvesting an organ between a grown adult or a child laying on the bed in a hospital, being taken on complete life support to keep their body alive while their organs removed. It's no different. A baby has to be kept alive too. Even a baby that's being halfway pulled out of the womb. They are having their organs removed while they're still alive. And they can feel the pain because they're not sedated. They're given nothing. Also during abortions, where these babies are being dismembered and sucked out with vacuums, people keep saying, well, they don't feel the pain. And how do you know that? Do you trust these same agencies and this agenda? Now I want to talk about the doctors and nurses that help to promote these ideas that abortion bans would prevent women from getting care for miscarriage and ectopic pregnancy. They know that's not true. They're either completely lying about the fact that they are a doctor or a nurse and they've never been to school, or they're being paid very well, or they just know that they're lying because they support abortion. Because they're lying, straight out lying. And I wouldn't want any care from any of those doctors or nurses. I think doctors and nurses have proven themselves the last couple years what's important to them. Some of them, a lot of them. And I think there's good reason not to trust what they're saying about abortion also. Now, I think I cleared everything up. I think there's a lot of misconceptions, and a lot of these lies have helped to keep even like the Republican and the Christian voters to want to keep this, they have compassion for the women, of course, but it's a lie. Those things are lies. Elective abortion and spontaneous abortion are not the same things. Spontaneous abortion, again, is a miscarriage where the baby already dies. Elective abortion is where somebody goes into an abortion clinic and pays for other pills or to have a surgical abortion. Do not allow the lies to confuse you. It's very brutal. I say this as a post-abortive woman. I'm very honest about it. And I fell for the lies. And it's time to stop falling for the lies. There's obviously an agenda here. And there's a reason they like to keep the confusion going. And they don't want to change terminology. And they're purposely lying to people. This agenda, the media, the government, they're lying to people. Ask yourself, what are they benefiting from aborting babies? What is the benefit to our government? What is the benefit to lying about the taking of innocent life? What is it benefiting them? I have a few ideas, but I can't say what they are because they'll just take my video down and say I'm making stuff up. They might take it down now because I'm clarifying things that they don't want to be clarified. But, you can ask why they lied so much during 2020 and since then, and continue to lie and continue to hide the truth and mark everything misinformation when they're the ones that are giving the most misinformation of anyone, because they continue to lie about what abortion is and isn't. Abortion is not the care for ectopic and miscarriage. Abortion is the intent to go in, take the baby's life before it comes out of the womb. It is elective. I hope I clarified this for people today, and you stop falling for the lies. There's obviously an agenda here, and it's very evil. It's evil to scare people into thinking they won't get the proper health care when you're lying about what actual health care is used in these treatments and in these conditions. I hope this blesses somebody. Please share. God bless.